Hi there, clinical nutritionist and naturopathic practitioner Paige Welsh here. On this podcast, I want to bring to light the topic of inflammation and the role that nutrition can play with inflammation. For more information on me, please visit our website at www.totalhealthinc.com. So let's get started. Inflammation is a huge buzzword right now in the health and nutrition field, and for good reason. It is now well known that inflammation is a root cause to most modern-day disease and illness, and by understanding how you become inflamed and the implications of such, you can take back your health and prevent dreaded diseases such as obesity, heart disease, Alzheimer's, and even cancer. Listen on to learn more about what inflammation is, how you become inflamed, why addressing inflammation is important for your health, and how nutrition can combat inflammation. So what is inflammation? Let me first begin by stating that inflammation is not always bad. We need inflammatory reactions to help defend our body from viruses, bacteria, toxins, damaged cells, foreign invaders, etc. If we didn't have inflammation, then our wounds would never heal and infections could kill us. When inflammation is acute, it's actually quite beneficial to our bodies. However, when inflammation becomes chronic or starts occurring on your cellular membrane, that's when you start to see problems. The actual definition of inflammation is a local response to cellular injury that is marked by a capillary dilation, leukocytic infiltration, redness, heat, and pain, and that serves as a mechanism initiating the elimination of noxious agents and of damaged tissue. All right, in layman's terms, please. Basically, your body releases chemicals into the bloodstream or to the affected tissue to help defend against that foreign substance. This process then increases blood flow to that affected area, which can then cause pain, swelling, warmth, and or redness on the skin, and this is most notably associated with acute inflammation. So what happens when we become chronically inflamed? When acute inflammation turns into chronic, the site of injury isn't the only thing that becomes affected. All of your cellular membranes become affected, leading to major health issues. On every single cell in your body, you have a bilayer fatty membrane. This membrane serves as a passage gate for all of your hormones, vitamins, and minerals to get into your cell, and for toxins to be able to get out of your cell. On every single cell membrane, there are receptor sites that allow for a specific hormone, vitamin, or mineral to enter into the cell. Think of this like a lock and key system. When chronic inflammation is occurring, your cell membranes start to become affected, and this lowers the ability for your hormones, vitamins, and minerals to be recognized by your cell and prevents toxins from being able to exit the cell, which can then lead to more rapid aging and cellular mutation. This in turn can lead to a whole host of health issues, such as hormonal issues, nutritional deficiencies, an inability to lose weight, insulin resistance, and cancer. So when inflammation turns from acute to chronic, it's usually due to a person's environment and lifestyle. When a person has chronic inflammation, their body and their cells are always facing a foreign invader, and the inflammatory process just doesn't turn off. These foreign invaders are more than just an exposure to a virus or a bacteria. These invaders may be the stress from your boss, the fragrance you spray on your body every morning, or that fourth cup of your sugar-laden cappuccino. Chronic inflammation is 100% tied into your lifestyle and environment. Your diet, your levels of stress, and the amount of environmental toxins you are exposed to each day all affect how inflamed your cell membranes become. There are quite a few food and beverages that are known to cause cellular inflammation. The most common include sugar, processed carbohydrates, processed and heated vegetable oils such as soybean oil, canola oil, and corn oil, conventional raised dairy and animal products, farm-raised fish, genetically engineered grains, food additives, colors, and preservatives, alcohol, and then for some, caffeine. What can make this even trickier is that if you have specific food sensitivities, those foods will cause an inflammatory reaction every time you ingest that food. Some of the most common food sensitivities that I see in the clinic are wheat, gluten, eggs, dairy, nuts, shellfish, peas and other legumes, soy, and corn. Finding out your exact food sensitivities are a key in helping reduce cellular inflammation and is something that we do with every client that comes into our clinic. So just as there are numerous foods and beverages that can cause cellular inflammation, there are also numerous sources of stress that one may experience day in and day out. A lot of people understand and realize when they experience mental or emotional stress. However, most may not realize all of the other smaller stressors that your body faces throughout the day. Think of all the stimuli your brain is constantly exposed to throughout the day, such as the TV blaring as you're trying to get your family ready for the morning, the songs and ads on the radio as you're driving to work while simultaneously worrying about the workday ahead, the bright artificial lights you are sitting under at your desk, or the constant mind chatter from your mental to-do list. These stressors all add up and contribute to your cellular inflammation levels. I have found that the key is not necessarily to eliminate all your stressors, because that's not practical at all, but to help reteach and support your body in how to handle these stressors every day. This looks quite different for each individual I see, so the approach I take for this is personalized for each person. Last, your toxin load plays a huge role in how inflamed your cell membranes are. We live in a sea of toxins. They are found in the air you breathe, the body care products you put on your skin, the chemicals that are sprayed on your food, or that are added to your furniture, carpet, paint, and are concentrated in your drinking water. Unfortunately, your typical refrigerator filter will not remove some of the most deadly and toxic substances that are found in water, such as chlorine, aluminum, and lead. Since this is such an important piece to your health, we have testing to determine if and what specific toxins are directly contributing to your health symptoms or inflammation levels. This can be very overwhelming for a lot of people, so I help to first educate my clients where these toxins are coming from in their environment, and then how to remove and replace to safer products. So why is it so important to address inflammation? Knowing where your inflammation levels are at is a key in reversing any unwanted health condition you may currently have and for preventing any chronic disease and illness. Now that you know how you can become inflamed, I want to address what inflammation leads to. Having cellular inflammation can lead to a host of unwanted health symptoms and disease, such as weight loss resistance or an inability to lose weight, arthritis, and other autoimmune diseases, sleep issues, hormonal imbalance, low energy, mood swings, depression, skin issues such as acne and rashes, anxiety, digestive problems, degenerative brain disease, and even cancer. So as you can see, most health concerns have inflammation as one of the root cause issues. So how can we use nutrition to combat this inflammation? Well, since there are various ways a person may become inflamed, the approach that needs to be taken to reverse inflammation can vary from person to person. Eating a cellular healing anti-inflammatory diet is one approach that will work for everyone. However, one person's anti-inflammatory diet may look different than another's, but for the most part, majority of people are going to benefit from focusing on vegetables, low-sugar fruits, pastured and grass-fed animal products, wild-caught fish, fermented foods, bone broth, olives, olive oil, sprouts, and a lot of herbs and spices. Learning how to incorporate these foods into your diet in the right portions and the right timing of the day can be difficult to decipher. It is recommended to work with a clinical nutritionist on this to ensure that your specific anti-inflammatory diet is working for you. Other sources of nutrition that can help combat inflammation are therapeutic whole food-based supplements and herbs. Some examples of these may include high-quality fish oil, curcumin, boswellia, CBD oil, magnesium, glucosamine, MSM, chondroitin, vitamin A, rosemary, quercetin, white willow bark, and Chinese skullcap, A lot of companies will combine nutrients such as these into a blend, so you don't have to take a bunch of separate supplements. Just like finding your specific anti-inflammatory diet is important, so is finding a specific supplemental protocol. This should be discussed with a clinical nutritionist or a trusted healthcare practitioner before you begin supplementing. Last, another potent way to control cellular inflammation is by fasting. There are many forms of fasting, so it is vital that you find a form that works for your body and your health concerns. For the majority of individuals I work with, most find that incorporating intermittent fasting into their lifestyle can be quite easy and effective with reducing inflammation. Intermittent fasting is when you refrain from eating and drinking anything with calories for a 14 to 16 hour period every 24 hours. So water, herbal tea, and coffee will not break your fast. This should be done on a regular basis to see benefits. For any questions regarding intermittent fasting or fasting in general, please contact me in the clinic or your trusted healthcare provider. So at this point, you're probably thinking that you would like to know where your inflammation levels are at. Your conventional medical doctor will usually diagnose an inflammatory condition based off of your medical history and current health symptoms, by performing a physical exam, and by analyzing an X-ray or blood test. The most common blood test for inflammation is a C-reactive protein test, also known as a CRP test. If it is found that you do have high levels of inflammation, the most common conventional medical treatments include medications, rest, and/or surgery. Unfortunately, medications usually have side effects such as osteoporosis, high blood pressure, weight gain, lowered energy, and muscle weakness. And rest and surgery aren't going to address the root cause of why you're inflamed in the first place. So in our clinic, we perform a urine test called a meta-oxy test to assess a person's levels of cellular inflammation. This test is much more accurate at assessing cellular inflammation than a blood test. When the cell membrane becomes oxidized or inflamed, toxic aldehydes are released into the bloodstream. The kidneys then excrete those toxic aldehydes into your urine and can be picked up with the meta-oxy test. Are you interested in getting this test done? Please give our clinic a call at 262-251-2929 to talk with a practitioner who can get you set up for testing and/or answer any of your questions.
Thanks for joining us today on the Total Health Podcast. If you'd like more information about how Total Health can transform your health, check them out. They would love to set up a free consultation with you over the phone. Call them at 262-251-2929 to make that appointment. Otherwise, you can check them out on the web at www.totalhealthinc.com.